It's all part of us, I think. It's something that we get together and do as a family.
This community still depends on aquatic resources, and in a lot of ways, it's still very much nomadic people. We still go out and harvest the herring and the seaweed and the salmon.
You know, it's just something that's been kind of engraved in our genes, so to speak, over the generations, that, you know, we've depended on things like the salmon, for example, for so long that it's just something that our bodies need and is really essential to our diet.
We know we're going to be here. We aren't going anywhere. We've been here for thousands of years. And we want to make sure that everybody can have that same history. It's very important to us that we are able to sustain the thing that's been sustaining us for so long.
We'd be in big trouble if we didn't have salmon.
There was a fisherman, but there's no fish there now because it's been mismanaged by fisheries.
The majority of the time when there's important decisions to be made, they're made from someone in a three-piece suit in Ottawa. You know, someone in Ottawa hasn't a clue what's going on out here.
It's been huge decline in all aquatic species all across the board. Everything from salmon to abalone to herring, you name it, they're gone.
And that's why the First Nations need to jump in. We need to start working together.
The central coast of British Columbia is home to the Great Bear Rainforest and the Indigenous people who have lived here for thousands of years. The Heiltsuk, the Wuikinuxv, the Kitasoo Xai'Xais, and the Nuxalk have joined together to form the Central Coast Indigenous Resource Alliance, otherwise known as CCIRA. Through the combined use of science and traditional knowledge, the nations are collectively dedicated to stewarding these marine resources in a manner that ensures local sustainable economies, intact ecosystems, and healthy communities. CCIRA aims to leave behind a history of mismanagement and move towards a system of co-management, working in collaboration with government to manage the marine resources within their territories.
And for us, you know, I think, you know, we live there, we see it, we see things firsthand. So we want to make sure that, you know, we have a say in what's going on because we see it all firsthand. So we started developing our own science programs. We're doing science around things like herring, things like sea cucumber, rockfish, salmon, bears, you name it. We're doing tons of science programs in our communities now. And we're investing a lot of time and effort in terms of this ground truthing, really what's going on out there.
First Nations have probably some of the most robust data sets that exist for certain species in the Central Coast. They're absolutely doing the research that's necessary to support management and decision making. They've built up their scientific capacity, they've built up their institutional capacity so they can be key players in the management process and the decision making processes on the coast.
There's lots of programs that are underway here. Probably the biggest scale is the Guardian Watchman program. You know, where we have 8 or 10 guardians who work full-time year-round. We have fish counters that are out in all these systems, getting a better hands-on approach to counting salmon and understanding these salmon populations. You know, we have people on the ground that are, you know, collecting data that will assist with these management plans and help to inform our management decisions when it comes time to do so.
When we started developing our marine use plans, we interviewed tons of our elders, all of our community members, all of the fishermen, all the people who spend all of the time out there, and they know exactly what's going on in the water. You know, about where people fished, how things have changed over time, whether large gathering of, you know, ecological species, you know, all those different things we compiled and we put it together. And we started to zone out our territories, you know, in terms of, you know, where things are and where things should happen, where they can't happen.
We came up with what was called an ecosystem-based management framework. And this is very similar to the way First Nations have managed their territories for thousands of years. Each of the nations have held well over 100 meetings within their communities to develop their own community marine plans. Hundreds of meetings at the nation level, meetings between First Nations and provincial governments. And this planning process was replicated in the North Coast, Haida Gwaii, and North Vancouver Island. So it's probably one of the most comprehensive planning approaches in British Columbia.
Co-management for us means just having the opportunity to sit on the table with the provincial government, with the federal government, being able to take traditional ecological knowledge and local knowledge to the table and merge that with some of the best available Western science, and using that information to be able to develop some pretty solid management plans, so marine use plans, and bring some sustainability to the coast.
We know our territory, we know what it needs.
The co-management arrangements or opportunities that exist out there are huge. We've got people that are all over the water, they're the eyes and ears on the water, and I think this information is really relevant to the day-to-day management that needs to take place out on the ocean.
We've had a lot of the discussions that needed to be had with the provincial government, with stakeholders, with scientists, and all we need now is to have a conversation with the federal government and have them come to the table in a meaningful and open way.
And let's develop some stewardship responsibilities together. And I think that's what it's about, is making sure that we're taking care of these areas, and we want to make sure that we take care of it so that future generations have something.